Like, what are we doing?
Corey Graves, the ignorant slut, cannot pronounce the word coup de grace. He says coup de grace.
Welcome to This is a Takeover. I'm Shelby Ray Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
And we're here to talk about NXT Battleground. But first off, how are you doing, Gina?
I am doing grand, Shelby. How are you doing today?
I am good, and I feel so fancy.
I know.
Today because I have made the effort to make a drink today.
Effort?
And not just crack open a Diet Coke can.
Hey, look, there's no judgment with how badly you've been needing Diet Coke.
Oh my gosh. But it's become like, I've never really been addicted to Diet Coke. No, I know you're giving me a face right now.
I am definitely giving you a face.
Listeners who
that
have
is like
been
saying
avid
I'm not
listeners.
addicted to Dr. Pepper. That's dumb.
Okay, that's not fair because you are.
I am, absolutely.
But no, I feel like it has ramped up a lot during this pregnancy just because it's the only source of caffeine that I'm allowing myself.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, you did try with coffee, but it doesn't, decaf coffee doesn't do anything for you because, duh.
It's a placebo thing for me. So, like, in the mornings, I always have a hot coffee, right? Like, I make it
It's just
every morning.
practice.
It is routine for
That's
me,
the
right?
word. It's a better word.
Routine. What did you say?
It's practice.
Practice. It's like our ritual every day.
Oh my gosh. All
mean,
right, y'all. Here we
For
go.
some people it is. I mean, they really,
Yeah.
they have the special machines and the pour over stuff, and like
Sandra.
I'm not that fancy. I literally just have I have a Keurig and
Yeah.
that's it. But
Yeah.
but I make the decaf in the morning because it's a thing that wakes me up, right?
It's the warmth and the smell and yeah.
But it doesn't taste as good. And I
Yeah.
think I've realized I actually do enjoy the taste of coffee.
Well, that's good to know.
But if I have a cup of coffee in the day,
That's it.
that's it. That's all I can
You
have.
can't have any more.
I can't have any more caffeine throughout the rest of the day.
Daggone.
And there are a lot of caffeine-free options because thankfully there's a lot of stuff out there now. But like, it just doesn't.
It doesn't hit that itch.
And that iced coffee is even more deceiving because you have to brew it stronger for iced coffee. So there's more caffeine in iced coffee than in regular coffee. So like I can't just go in and get like a tall,
Nope.
Starbucks iced coffee, which who would do that anyway? Like that's 2 sips.
That's like 2 chugs.
I mean, ew. That was disgusting.
It was not. But what are you actually drinking now, Shelby?
I found they were on sale at Target. It is the actual tea that Starbucks uses.
Oh, so that very fancy bougie stuff?
Yes, the Tazo passion, tea, which I do really like their passion lemonades.
Yeah, no, they're really,
They're
really good.
really, really good, but I'm having to watch my sugar too, so I can't do the lemonade part. So I found just the tea, and then that was on sale, so I got the calm one as well. And both of them are caffeine free. So
Lovely.
I poured it in a wine glass that has a cool skull on it because we're at Kara's house.
Because we're at Kara's house.
And I put a lime wedge in it, and I feel fancy.
It is nice. Very nice.
It is very good.
It's also a really nice color. It looks like a full mixed drink.
It does. I kind of feel like I'm drinking a Cosmo right now.
Yeah. And I'm up over here having myself a cookout, a huge cheer wine because they don't have Dr. Pepper at a cookout.
They don't, but they have cheer wine.
They sure do have cheer wine. They sure do. They surely do.
We in the Carolinas, and we gotta have some cheer wine here. I've never
because I would rather drink cheer wine than Mr. Pibb. You can't tell me otherwise.
I mean, I am not a Dr. Pepper person, so I can't tell you the difference, but I've never been a cheerwine person either because I don't really like sweet stuff.
Well, that and cherry. You don't like cherry.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah, this is...
I keep forgetting that cheerwine is just cherry juice.
Because it's not really cherry. It's cherry, not cherry.
Right.
So...
I mean, it's bright red. It's not the color of actual cherries, at all. I hate to break it to you, but there is no real cherry juice
red
in
dye
cheerwine.
number 4. You have your aspartame. I have red dye number 4. It's
I'm telling
fine.
you, I mean, you don't have aspartame, but you have that. So like something's going to kill us
Isn't
all.
that the hyper? Isn't that makes sense?
Isn't that the hyper?
the hyper dye that everyone's like, all those mothers.
Kids ADHD.
Oh yeah. Well, looky there.
That's what at least all the moms say.
I'm gonna sip some of this red dye.
But yes, we are slowly but surely, friends, bringing back the what are we drinking?
Yes.
Because hopefully, knock on all of the wood, the next time that we will record, I can have an alcoholic beverage.
Because you'll have a baby.
I will. So that's exciting and scary all at the same time.
It makes you want to drink.
It does. But yeah, so let's go ahead and just get into it.
Absolutely.
I know we had our last episode, we talked about Night of Champions, and we said that we were very excited to talk about this one or talk about Battleground, because I feel like this was, to me, not as on par with some of the other ones that we've seen this year.
I got strong fifis.
I do too.
I got strong fifis.
But that's why I wanted to talk about it. Because I feel like for the past few takeovers, they've been very consistent.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like they've been so on point. And we're like, okay, we're back on track. We're back on the regular takeovers like we used to have, like black and gold brand takeovers. But I don't know. This one felt it felt very out of place. Yeah. And there were a few matches that were actually really, really stellar and really good.
Oh yeah,
But every other one kind of ended with a sour kind of taste in our mouth. So I think it'll be interesting to go through it.
I'm excited to dive into this one.
Also, friends, I'm so sorry about my stuffy nose.
No.
Toward the end of each day, now I get the pregnancy sniffles. So
that's a thing?
Oh, it's absolutely a thing.
Oh, I'm screwed for the future. Are you kidding me? I already have the sniffles every day because of allergies.
Well, I listened to this.
When did that start for you?
Just recently.
Oh, okay.
It hasn't been the whole time, but there's a female comedian that I listen to a lot, Eliza Schlesinger.
Hey, shout out.
She just, not just gave birth, but she has a 1-year-old. And
that's still just.
She was true. But she has a podcast, and throughout her entire pregnancy, she had what she called the pregnancy sniffles, where literally it just sounded like she was congested all the time.
That's crazy.
And I've noticed toward the end of the day that I'll start to get kind of congested.
That is insane.
Yeah. So I apologize, friends, if you hear me sniffling or it's a little congested tonight, but it'll be okay. We'll power through.
We're going to be okay.
So our first match of the night is for the North American title. So there's a triple threat match between Wes Lee, Joe Gacy, and Tyler Bate.
Who I have recently really come to enjoy.
Who, Tyler?
Yes.
Oh, man, drink the Kool-Aid. He's great.
I am. I'm drinking this Cheerwine Kool-Aid.
No, he's awesome. And
he's also attractive, but he looks like my man if he was blonde.
That's probably a reason why. But I feel like because he was huge over in UK,
and that's what you always told me, because you were like, no, hang on, and I was just like, I just feel bad because his name is I don't know, the inner child, the inner middle school boy in me is like, Bait, I know, and it's really dumb. It makes me think of Bates Motel, and it's dumb.
Oh, okay, sorry. I was like, I am right over my head on that one. I was like, that doesn't sound like a dick joke at all.
No. Because we could even go around to master.
Oh, okay,
but
fair.
Either works. It's just my brain's messed up, so I would giggle about that for a while. But
all middle school brains are messed up.
Yeah,
because mine immediately went to a dick joke.
And you're not wrong. We were there, but just we were parallel.
Right.
We just weren't on the same street.
I understand. But yes, no, I agree. He is so good, and I think this dynamic that he has with Wesley right now, is really, really fun.
I was like, no, Wes, don't be mad at him. He's just really wrestling because he's a professional. He's not going to leave you. He's a friend of yours.
I think that's such a testament to the difference between British wrestling mentality and American wrestling mentality.
It's so true, though.
Because we, over here in the States, I feel like we are so emotional about things.
About everything.
Right. So, we tie all of our emotions into, everything that we do, right?
I mean, think about how many reality TV shows we have.
Oh, I know. Exactly. But, if you think about it, like Wesley is so basically like Wesley is like you're like going for my title, therefore you're not my friend anymore. He's like, nah, dude, like we work at a wrestling company.
It's like what did you think would happen, man?
I want a title. You have one. It's nothing personal. And he even says that like in the lead up to this, which I find just hilarious. That Wesley's like, no, like you're not my friend anymore. Like we're not gonna be friends after this.
We're gonna fight.
We're gonna actually fight. And I'm like, he's like, yeah, no, I want that. Like
that's the point. I want your title.
Right. But so I like that we have that dynamic, and then you just have Joe Gacy just like lingering in the background, being like, yes, dissent.
Yes, he's so freaking creepy now, and it's like I get it, but he's just always gonna make me feel like he's a knockoff Bray.
Well,
he can work. He can work.
That's and not saying that Bray can't, but like I feel like Bray is more of a character wrestler, whereas like he can work and he can wrestle really well, but he relies a lot on his characters, right? Yeah. I feel like Joe started out that way, and then now it's become a little bit different, and he wrestles. He's more technical. Yeah, I think.
Okay.
Because usually in triple threat matches, like ones that I've seen in the past, sometimes I know where you're going with turns this, into two guys duking it out for a while, and the third guy just like staring, kind of like peeking over the outside, just
or
being
just
like,
chilling in the corner, just
like waiting for their spot, right?
Yep.
But I feel like with this one in particular, it was very even, very evenly matched, where like everybody kind of played off of each other, and you had like Tyler Bate, who's the striker or the strong boy, right? The strong
boy,
which is
it's funny because he doesn't look like the American strong boy.
Well, he's the British strong style,
exactly,
right? That's where he comes from.
Yes,
which like I get it. He's like big strong boy, like that was his thing. But like I kind of like you're a man now. You know, like the big strong boy of it all. Like I kind of was like, you can graduate up.
You're a man.
You can be a big strong
man. We don't have the rights to that. I shouldn't sing that.
No, you should not. Please don't sing.
Nope.
But yeah, no. And then you had him, who's the strong style, and then you had Wesley, who's the high flyer, and then you have Gacy, who's the striker. Yeah. Right. Who just
or the tank.
Literally just like I'm gonna run at you and do a clothesline, and you're just gonna lay there for 5 minutes because it hurts.
Yeah.
Like so, you have all the three different styles, but they all really worked really well together. So you didn't have someone who's just sitting outside, waiting for their spot.
Unless it was Gacy doing it on purpose to be creepy and trying to pit them against each other.
Which did happen a couple of times.
He was like, he doesn't care about you. He hates you. And Tyler's like, what is wrong with you, man? Like get in here and fight like a man.
I'm just wrestling. I'm doing my job. I'm being paid for. Like, why do you guys make this so emotional? I really.
Why you gotta be so cruel?
I really liked that dynamic.
It was fun.
That he played into that, because even after the pay-per-view, you had NXT TV the next week, and he even like cut a promo with Wesley and was like, dude, okay, now that this is over, like, can we go back to being friends?
Yeah,
like,
it was great.
I know that, like, I went for your title and everything, but, like, can we not do that anymore?
Because he came in and defended Wes against
he did.
Yes.
And so then Wes is like, we could be fine now.
We good.
But, like, I really did enjoy this one. I feel like it was the right outcome.
Well, but we do really quickly need to talk about Tyler Bates. I have this because when I wrote this down, the announcers actually said the moves. So I actually have the moves.
Right. Yeah.
Tyler Bate did this airplane spin while spinning Wes. Yes. He had freaking Joe and Wes at the same time. And then just like, I was like, he's even like Claudio.
Yeah.
Am I about to have a new NXT man?
You should.
I think I should.
I think you should claim it right now. I think, yeah.
Hear ye, I have chosen my new NXT man. It is Tyler Bate.
I love that. I love that for you.
I love that for me too.
I'll get there.
It's okay. Look, hey, who knows?
I have a lot to live up to. You know,
do.
All of mine are, you know, they're very, it's going to be very hard.
He has his own special award now Like the Who Wants to Die award.
But no, he's my brother. He's not my husband.
That's right. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Forgive
we're
me.
related. Okay, gross. Okay,
We're related.
but yes,
Sure you are.
that was extremely impressive.
Yeah, that was
And
crazy.
So yes, you can claim your big strong boy title by doing a double airplane spin.
That's a man. This only proves that he now has ascended to man.
I love it.
There.
I love it.
All right.
Well, I mean, I feel like because Wesley goes over
Of
on
course.
this, but I feel like it was the right outcome just because I don't think he's ready to lose it yet.
Well, I even said when we were talking about it, I was like, okay, like, so even with storyline, I'm trying to figure out what other option there could have been, because even if Gacy somehow won it, I guess they could have had them, like, Bate and Lee just going against each other for a while.
Yeah.
But I feel like, as you said, but if he wins, then this is longer story.
Yeah.
Down the road. And I was like, it's fair.
Because, I mean, because it was Gacy who took the pin.
Yeah.
Right? So he didn't actually pin Tyler.
Yeah.
So then we can go forward
And be like,
with we didn't pin each other. Like, it's fine. Like, we're fray-frays. We're cool.
And then when the pin does happen.
If it does.
If it does.
Because I think we could actually move on from this.
Yeah.
And I would actually like to see Tyler Bate go back for the Heritage Cup, because he was a very, very good Heritage Cup.
We're going to get
match.
there. That's one of the things I am so pissed about.
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying.
But yes,
from
I agree.
past experience.
Yes, because he held it for forever.
He did.
And it was amazing, you said.
And he is so good at the Heritage Cup matches. That's his bread and butter. Like, that's his thing.
I could see that.
So I would,
proving he's more British.
Exactly.
He's so British.
I would want him to go back to doing that.
I'd love to see
and then
him
have Wesley be in his corner for that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So, and then you have Wesley who can go on to, because there's so many people that they have on their roster.
Yeah.
I'm calling it.
Oh,
Nathan Frazier. Nathan Frazier going for the North American title.
Remind me really quickly
So
of
do you remember
the color of the trunks.
Well, I don't know the trunks.
Okay.
I just know the look.
Sometimes I do that.
Do you remember us talking about the matches that Nathan Frazier did with Axiom?
Yes.
So him.
Okay. Yes.
The guy who was in the corner with Dragon Lee for the Heritage Cup.
Yes.
Want
with the big billowy long hair. Yes.
I want that.
I could see that.
I think that would be a really good one. So,
Ooh.
Sean, if you're listening,
look,
that's my prediction.
And I'm just saying, on that subject of someone listening, thank you. Someone is listening. We're going to get to that later.
Yes.
But there is for real someone who is listening to us, because there were, 3 things?
There were a couple of things
That we were like, someone directly chose what we said. Like they are for real listening to us. So
it
thank
has
you.
happened. It has happened a few times on
But
this
not
show.
to this level.
That's true.
Not to this level. So whoever
We
it
are
is,
reaching to different countries
we
now.
are. We are apparently reaching out to all sorts of lovely countries. And
I mean, so I gave
comment. Tell us where you're from.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I'm so excited to hear from you guys.
So I gave this a 4.
Oh yeah, solid.
Easy,
solid. 4.
like
4 Regals.
Yeah, really, really good. But then we have to move on to a downgrade, a little bit of a downgrade. So this is the Heritage Cup match, which I am so glad that this is something that they are bringing over from UK, because when I was watching UK, this was my favorite time of year, because they would have a Heritage Cup tournament. And so they would basically have Heritage Cup matches to get to the main Heritage Cup final. So it would just be a month and a half solid of just Heritage Cup matches. And they were so much fun to watch. And I feel like bringing it over to an American audience is super cool, but I just don't think they did it right, like at all.
This was my first Heritage Cup match.
And I hate that.
And
I hate that that's the first
pissed,
one that you've ever seen.
Emotionally, my heart wants to give this 0 Regals.
I know.
Because I was so excited. That's not my score.
No. But
truthfully,
let me explain the rules before we get into it, because I'm pretty sure no one else knows what a Heritage Cup match is either.
Yes, let's explain the rules.
So you have 6 3-minute rounds. So kind of like boxing.
Yes.
And at the end of each round, the competitor goes back to their respective corners, and they're supposed to be like a quote unquote hype person, like in the corner giving them water.
It's
and
like their
talk.
coach.
Exactly. If someone gets a pinfall or submission, then the round is over.
Immediately stops.
Yes.
And they have to go back to their corners.
Yes. And then it's the best 2 out of 3 falls.
Yes.
So basically, whoever gets to 2 falls first out of 6.
Yes. But there is something else that needs to be brought up about DQs.
Okay. Go ahead.
No. Right? I was just saying that's part of.
I don't know. I don't.
Well, you
I
were
didn't write that one down.
Oh, well, there's a thing because they were also saying that the ref has free reign to pick when there's a DQ if a move is.
That's right. Yeah.
If a move is not, and this is. Don't worry, I will talk all about this in great detail because this is the part that pissed me off the most. Because the ref has if there's something that happens, like a weapon is used or something is something happens, they have the right to then disqualify the match, and whoever then is disqualified, they would go to the victor. Like the win would go to the victor.
Yeah.
Because I remember you were telling me that at the beginning, and I was like, that's a really fun caveat. I really like that. It makes it more of a real match where there's no chicanery.
Yeah, but during this match, there was so much chicanery,
and it was pissing me off so bad.
Because there was even a time when, because I know, so it was, we didn't even say who this was against. So it was Noam Dar versus Dragon Lee. And I feel like putting Dragon Lee in this and not having him win is so stupid. It's because Noam Dar has, he is someone who I am not a huge fan of character-wise. I think he's a fine wrestler. I think he's okay. He has held this cup for so long that because he hasn't defended it because NXT UK has been in limbo and then it went away and then now we're bringing it back. So he has held this for so long basically because of circumstance.
And also because and then they're using that for with his character. It's I don't have to defend. It's fine. He's clearly being the heel asshole that very Miz, very what's this other name? I'll think of it later after we're done recording. But it's very much this snake, just sleazy, and I appreciate the character. He's very good at this character.
He is because it makes me
almost wonder if he's not even acting, but that's just my own personal preference or belief. But I'm just so mad.
No, and we had
I'm so
there
mad.
was a point in the match where because Noam Dar gets the first fall. Right?
Yes.
Which that was all legit.
Clean.
All of that was clean.
Clean. Beautiful. I actually was really surprised by that.
And then
all
of a sudden, during one of the rounds, the bell rings and then he elbows Dragon Lee in the face, clearly in front of the ref after the bell has rung.
And this was strike 1 for me.
Right.
Because the ref was the ref wasn't even playing that he didn't see it. The ref played he stared at him. He said, "Oi, what you doing?" How dare you? And he's like, "Oh, it was an accident." And then the ref continued.
Yeah.
Having clearly seen that. So that's why I was like, wait, that...
He should have been disqualified for that.
Yes.
Yes.
The other thing that's bothering me about this match is okay, if the person who is the champion just automatically grabbed a weapon, wouldn't that mean that they win automatically? If at the start of a match, they just decided to grab a kendo stick and start beating the shite out of someone, and then they get DQ'd, wouldn't that then go to them?
According to the rules, yeah, technically.
What the?
But no one ever does that, though.
No.
Because that's the point of the Heritage Cup, is that it's the gentleman style of wrestling.
And that's...
So that's put in place just
as like no one would do that.
Right, exactly.
And then that's the thing that I'm getting pissed about, is because I was like, I was so excited for this kind of rule because it's like traditional but still fun and relevant. Mm-hmm. And then now that it's over here, they're like, oh, but we have to make it like just super like Americanized, and we have to make, bullshit.
We have to make it like a regular match, and it's not.
It's not.
So here's the main issue that I had with it. This match, or this type of match, is not supposed to have distractions. It's not supposed to have run-ins. It's not supposed to further storylines. It's literally supposed to just be a pure wrestling match. It reminds me
skill against skill.
Yes, it reminds me a lot of the ROH Pure title.
Yes,
right, where you have all these rules, right?
Yes.
But you have them in place for a reason, because it keeps you at a code of conduct, right? It keeps it so that way, okay, if you do this, then here are actual consequences.
Yes,
versus like, quote unquote, regular wrestling where like it's up to the discretion of the referee, because we've seen blatant
we talked about that
disqualifications like all the time in front of the ref, and they're like, I'll allow it,
and it's like, guys,
right, exactly. So this is supposed to be something that's like not for that.
Yeah,
like this is supposed to be, okay, it is skill on skill, strength on strength, like I am a better technical wrestler than you are, and this is how I show it.
Yes.
Right? So by bringing in Lash Legend and whoever the fuck else came in, I don't even know who these people are. Like, nobody knew who these people were.
Like, I didn't recognize her.
Yeah.
At all. And also, tall queens.
Oh, sure.
Huge women.
The only reason why I know Lash Legend is because they tried to give her a talk show.
They did. I remember that. It did not work at all. But she's also like changed her look now, so that's why I didn't recognize her, because I was like, wait a minute, what?
And then there was another girl,
woman,
I did not get her name.
Not at all.
And I did not get the guy's name either.
I don't give a shit.
So it's not, this match or this type of match is not supposed to do that. It's not supposed to further storylines. It's not supposed to, like, chicanery should not even be on the list of the outline for these matches.
Like this,
right?
This is definitely somebody who has never watched a Heritage Cup match.
Well, either that, or we have, and we want to make it more like appealing to the audience that we have now, versus what the audience we had before. But they're
the same now, because they just come over here to watch this.
No, they're not the same.
Really?
No,
they're not coming back.
Well, here's the thing: the people speaking from someone who did watch UK.
Yeah. Yes.
No one watched UK. Okay. No one knew that UK was even still a thing.
Oh.
So I would argue that it is definitely not the same audience who's watching.
Dang.
I really don't think so. And I think that a lot of people were very loyal to UK. Yeah. And when they disbanded it, they were like, fuck WWE, I don't want anything to do with this anymore. Dang. So
that's savage.
I don't think that the audience that they had before for this type of match is there anymore. Golly. So that's unfortunate for people like me who were huge fans of this type of match. I really hope that they continue with this and that people don't shit on it too much. But like, a lot of people did not enjoy this match. And I feel like if you had any plans for Dragon Lee,
you just squash them.
They're done. His momentum is at 0 at this point, because he also fucked up a lot during this match. Like, there was that huge botch on the outside.
God, when I thought that his
head hit the apron, but it was really his shoulder, but it looked like
he slammed his head as hard as he could onto that.
Also, I want to be like, dude, you already did this spot, so you don't need to do it again.
Yes, we've seen it. We got it. Like,
it's a cool spot because it's where he walks on the ropes and runs essentially on the ropes and does a Hurricane Rana onto the outside with the guy on the apron. But the second time he did it, he slipped when he went to jump, missed Noam Dar completely, and they both came crashing down.
So he already had a hill to climb when he came out so strong on that AAA performance he had, and then was like, by the way, deuces, I'm going to W. Like, you already have...
I mean, baller move, but still.
Baller. like, holla. Like, holla, holla. But no, but now you've set yourself up to climb Everest to prove your point, and this is what happens.
Well, I think it's unfortunate for him just because
he's good.
He is very good.
He's
but
so good.
At the same time, I don't know if putting him in this match was actually a good idea. Because if he lost like he did, then it sets him up to go nowhere.
Yeah.
But if he wins, then it's also kind of strange because it's not really the style of a luchador.
No.
Right? Like, so I don't know. It would have been better if he would have won. If you're going to have him in the match and he's a new guy. I mean, they're both technically new guys, but like if you're trying to elevate this luchador who came from AAA, who you made such a big deal about.
Huge deal.
You had to have let him win.
Yeah.
And especially if you were going to have him lose, not lose it in the way that he did. Just by distraction alone.
That's the thing that was pissing me off, where I was like, okay, so the ending, these two ladies, Lash Legend. I almost said Lash Perfect. Lash Legend came in and started distracting the ref. And that's the other part that made me so furious, is like, once again, the ref stared at them, stared at them with his eyeballs, and decided to not just end that match right there.
Yeah.
Even just having them out could have done that. But the fact that they started to actually mess with Dragon Lee, I was like, okay, all you had to do was come out and like say one thing, and then he'd be like, hey, what are you doing? You know what? No, like no one's supposed to be here. And it still could have held the integrity of the cup. Mm-hmm. It still could have. Essentially what this match has done, it's not only messed up Dragon Lee's future. Noam Dar looks like a bitch who can't do his own wrestling.
True.
Past like where it's like, oh, this is a character. It makes me genuinely believe that he couldn't have done it.
Yeah.
And it has absolutely screwed over the integrity of this cup. And in my opinion, they have to like fly around the planet like twice to fix this.
I think what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to drop back and punt with this and not do it for a while.
Like, and that sucks because this was a potential to be amazing. Like when HBK made that match. Yeah. Like it had that potential.
I don't think that's what they're going to do.
No,
but I think,
of course not. Unless someone's listening.
I just think that either that or they need to make it a bigger deal by making a tournament out of it.
I feel like that works.
By
That's an easy way
hyping it up instead of just throwing it into a pay-per-view where people don't necessarily really know.
Yeah.
With not a lot of build-up.
Yeah.
You know?
And it also doesn't help that at the beginning of this match, there was this promo that Triple H threw where it was talking about the Heritage Cup and all of the amazing wrestlers before who had it. And then they were like, and we're going to shit on it.
Yeah, kind of.
That's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
I gave this a 2.
Yeah, I gave it a 2 too.
Yes, okay. Yeah. 2 Regals.
No, I mean, you guys know that like 2 is low. 2 is like my 1.
Yeah, like
really. I mean, if we're being honest, but I don't feel like they literally could have done anything else but what they actually did.
Anything.
And so that's why it's a straight up 2.
I give it
it's bad. It was bad. It was not fun to watch at all. And
even technically, I didn't want to go 1 because like technically the match was good.
Yeah.
If I'm going to 1 or 0, that means that like everything was wrong.
Either that or a match just didn't even happen.
Yeah. Something. It's like when Shane McMahon came in for his last match, I gave that a 1 because that match didn't happen and Snoop Dogg had to save the day. But
well, yeah, the 1 was just for Snoop.
The 1 was for Snoop.
So we need to go on from this one because the next one, man, was my match of the night.
Oh, it saved it.
Ilya Dragunov versus Dijak in a last man standing match, and
all I wrote was, "Holy fuck." Okay, I did have one other note, but yes.
I just said go watch it.
Like, guys,
Like, honestly,
get your popcorn, get your drink, whatever it may be, and watch this like 20 times.
Everybody
mind-boggling.
knows how crazy cuckoo banana pants Ilya Dragunov is. We don't have to sit here and
insane.
explain this man to you.
And
this
if you
point.
don't, go watch this.
Just go
man.
look it up, because honestly, I think this is obviously it was the best match of the night, but it was
Clearly.
I think this is the best match that NXT has produced all year.
Ooh,
I really do.
Hot take.
I do, because this told such a good story.
Yeah.
And it was so well done by both of these men. And they both brought such a crazy ass intensity. That's the only way that I can like explain it. That
it gave me.
I legit thought that these men were gonna die. Like at one point, I legit looked over and I was like, I think Dragunov is gonna have an aneurysm. Like I really think that
did.
And then I looked over at Dijak. I'm like, I actually think he's gonna aneurysm first.
I think he's gonna have a stroke, and then he's gonna have an aneurysm, and then they're both gonna fall out and die
at the same time.
At the same time,
because the amount of intensity that both of these men showed. Now, last man standing matches can sometimes be bummers.
They can,
right?
They can make or break,
because people use it as an excuse just to like, okay, we're gonna fight around the ring, we're gonna use weapons, we're gonna,
especially if there's like a chicken shit heel in there.
Yeah, we're gonna fight in the arena,
Yeah.
and we're gonna do some big, huge spots where we jump off, cable cars and all that shit. But this was just a simple, I'm just gonna beat the shit out of you until you don't stand anymore.
Yeah.
Like that type of last man standing.
Yes.
And listeners of this show know that I appreciate the hell out of that, because
We don't need a crazy 100-year backstory sometimes. Sometimes they just gotta beat the shit out of each other.
And that's literally all that Dragunov ever does in any of his
Oh my
feuds.
gosh.
If you look back at any of his stuff he's ever done with Walter, any stuff he's ever done with Finn,
Oh my gosh, his Walt.
anything he's done with anyone in this company, it is just, I am psycho and you just have to out-psycho me.
Yeah.
Right? And you would think that it would get old after a while.
Never.
He legit, and I think I said this the night that we watched it, he actually pulled out moves I've never seen him do
Yes, you
before.
did. You were like, is that a new move?
Yeah.
Like you were freaking out.
I was, because people like that tend to, when you have the crazy, right? Like that's kind of all you have,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like you don't really stray too far into the actual move and technical side of the wrestling,
Yes.
right? You're just like, everyone is scared of me, and they should be, because I'm a crazy cuckoo banana man.
Yeah.
But he has pulled out some moves where now he literally will just pounce on you.
The pounce jump is
And
amazing.
just like with his forearm hit you in the face.
Yeah. He does like
as you're
like when
laying on your back. Like you would think like, okay, like that seems I could do that, right? No. Like he literally gets a running start, just flies like a flying squirrel through the air, and just with the blunt of his forearm hits you in the face.
See, I was going to give the analogy that, when a fox hunts, it jumps straight in the air and then just comes straight back down. That's exactly what he does.
That's really good, yeah.
Yeah, he could be standing, and that was one of the things he did. He was standing, and then he just jumped straight in the air and just goes, like, just right on his face. Also, I just want to give a shout out to Dijak. Like, I've missed you, man.
Yeah.
We've missed you. It's so nice to see you kicking ass again, like really taking names, like
not hiding behind a T-bar mask.
I don't want to ever hear T-bar, think T-bar.
I don't think he does either.
We're all in agreement. We don't even address it. But
and now he's doing the whole Matrix look.
I'm digging it, man.
With the long leather jacket.
Yes, and the glasses, and the 90s glasses. Yes.
I swear though, that moment at the beginning of the match, that he had with that parent and their child.
That child's soul left her body.
Guys,
Yo.
he looked
Yeah.
at this man who had a child in his arms.
There was a man behind.
Yes, but
he
but
was
there
speaking to
a
that man, and
yes.
that child was there.
He said to this man who was holding this little child, said, "You need to get her out of here because you're not going to want her to see what I'm about to do." And I was like,
the child's soul
left her body.
She went to heaven, y'all.
And I don't think we actually saw that child for the rest of the match because I think he believed him and took her out of the match. Which,
it's like
I
a
would
flashback
have
to
as
like
well.
Quinn. Like, hold my baby.
exactly.
Hold my baby.
But like,
Oh my gosh.
just the little attention to detail,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I'm such a sucker for it. But like, I really didn't write down that much because honestly, like, I didn't even really know what else to say about this because I was just speechless the entire time.
There's nothing that, like, there were times where we genuinely believed that Dragunov specifically had like busted wide open, where like it was like to the point. There was one part where they did actually have to check because
Underneath
his chin when he slammed into the table that Dijak was trying to set up.
That he just went through.
That he just went through it. It's not like he sat there and was like, "I'll wait." He said, "No, I won't," and then he ran through the table and he actually busted his chin.
So guys, this was it looked like it was just like a regular spot that that Dijak was setting up for himself, maybe to go through later.
But we know that
so
rule.
it literally, the camera, it was such a good camera angle. So it was on Dijak as he was had it kind of like catty cornered, like up against him. And then all of a sudden, like, Dragunov just comes in like a bullet.
Like a bat out of hell.
And just spears the table.
Just busts through it.
Would you like just...
maybe shoulder.
Okay.
He kind of went shoulder / head neck first.
Just like whatever.
He just fucking pounced it.
Yeah, and they would just fell out on the ground, but that was when
some of the wood must have
underneath his chin.
It must have popped up and got him. But there was a hot minute for a while where the camera was not on him at all, which of course makes us go, "Oh shit, he's actually busted."
Well, sure, because they only show blood if it's on purpose.
Yes, but if it's not on purpose, then there's not a camera in sight.
Right.
So,
especially with WWE, like they don't do accidental blood, you know.
Yeah.
Like it's not a thing.
Yeah.
So
my dream in the future though is that if I could have a dream match, this is the other note. The only other note I wrote was if Darby Allin and Dragunov
Jesus Christ
could have a match.
I think someone would actually die.
I think so. I think this is like we wait.
Yeah.
And then when they're 35.
Okay, see, Dragunov is old.
How old is Dragunov, really?
I don't know. Let's see. Let me look that up.
Google it. But seriously, like he could he's the Johnny Gargano of this event.
No, he is. We already decided this.
He wanted to die in this match.
But I'm pretty sure because I know that Darby is
Darby's like
is young.
He's like not even. I think he's like 30.
Oh, Ilya Dragunov's only 29. Okay.
My point exactly. Okay, I see what you mean though. There's a few little like wrinkles on the side of his face that could like be deceptive.
Old as fuck.
Well, when you put your body through the actual living hell that he does,
only a year younger than me.
He's as old as me.
I know. He was born in 93.
Yeah, he like what year or what month?
What month? Let's see. It's
Are we the same? Are we Sagittariuses?
October.
Yeah.
So close.
Hey, he's a Libra.
So okay, well I stand corrected.
That's insane.
That they definitely
when they're
could.
35.
When they're 30. If Darby makes it to 35,
this is my point. This is their retirement match.
At 35.
If they continue to do this, they will die.
I know, but
5.
Yeah.
5.
Yeah.
Ding, 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 ding.
I did. I gave it.
David, edit and post, dinging noises. Woo, celebration. We gave a 5.
I can't think of
There's
anything else that could have made it any more perfect.
No.
I mean, Dragunov goes over, but
barely.
But barely. And I legit thought his arm had gotten injured.
Oh my gosh, that arm bruise was disgusting.
I tried to look it up, y'all. I couldn't find anything on it.
No.
So I guess he just got some wicked bruises on his wrist.
I don't know. You can Google it.
Yeah, it looked like at one point that he
was testing to see if
it was broken, and I'm like, that's a true pro right there.
He knows what the hell he's doing,
that
and it
on
worked
camera,
me. Absolutely worked me.
On the hard camera side, he was like, with his other hand going, is it broken?
Like he was taking his wrist and bending it back, being like, can I move? Okay, cool, I can't move.
Yeah, so
it was disgusting.
Yeah, honestly, couldn't have cared less who won this thing.
No,
like
we all won.
It's like it is how I feel with all Dragunov matches. Like whoever he goes against, like I think he really picks his opponents carefully.
Yeah,
because I have yet to have seen him go against someone that has not been able to match the intensity of him.
Fair, because I will say the last match that will still and forever always be my favorite was him and Walter.
Well, no other match is ever going to compare to the series that he did with Walter. But I will say, J.D. McDonough, who was his last opponent before Dijak,
right.
He went there for sure. So
I forgot about that. That's right.
But so did Finn.
Yes.
And now so did Dijak. So I think that
Have I ever seen that Finn match?
I don't think a lot of people did because
go and look that up.
It was during the COVID times of NXT when we were like, can we go overseas? Can we not? Because they already had set up this program with Finn, and we weren't sure if we were going to be able to do it or not.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it was aired as properly as it should have been.
Understood.
Because it was aired on UK. It wasn't aired on on NXT US.
I'll do some digging.
So
I'll see if I can find it.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely a 5.
Oh. And then we're going to go back down this freaking roller coaster.
Yeah, like this is what we were talking about in the beginning, guys. Like we have these matches, like you have like the Dragunov Dijak match that is just like so high in intensity and such a good, perfect match. And then you drop down to this tag team championship match. Because you have Gallus versus the Creed brothers. Now, I have never really gotten behind the Creed brothers. I've never, and again, I don't know if this is just a product of me not watching as frequently during the week as I used to. Maybe if I did, I would understand them a little bit better. I don't know if they're really showcasing their tag team division as well as they should.
No.
Which is it's mirroring, what they're doing on the main roster, because it's very clear they don't care about their tag team division over there either.
Yeah.
But I feel like with this, because Gallus really hasn't made a showing either, even though they're the champions, there's really not much to them.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere, essentially what it felt like. And then they're just like, oh yeah, we're tough shit. And I'm like, the thing that I like, and the only thing I like about Gallus, is that those men could read the encyclopedia, and I would be very happy because it would be in a Scottish accent, and it would make me very happy.
To our point that we made at the Night of Champions episode, that literally us as Americans, you can just read the phone book with anything but an American accent, and we would just swoon.
We would be happy.
But see, there's only so much that can go with that.
Exactly.
Right? Because yes, they are good wrestlers, and I think they're a good team. But
what else do they have except green light?
That
which
green
blinds
light
me.
is very distracting.
It's giving me flashbacks to the red Hell in a Cell.
I will say, Julius Creed was the only part of this match that I actually enjoyed.
Yeah,
and I think he would be better as a singles competitor, because I think his brother. His brother cannot talk on the mic. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, Shelby.
But I just think that I don't know. Like, I don't like him as much as I do Julius, and I think Julius is the better out of the two.
We've been worked.
Why?
Because the brother is Brutus.
Yeah.
So, from the beginning, they set up their fate.
Oh, Jesus.
Because he's Julius.
I don't think that's what they're doing. If you look at these guys, they are not Shakespeare material.
No,
to
they're
go that
not.
far.
But the writers definitely made that pun for a reason.
Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't. Maybe that's their actual names. I don't know.
I really hope not. I really hope that's not a thing. Please.
I don't know.
I know we're bringing names back that are from older time periods, but please, dear God, do not bring back Julius and Brutus as names.
Oh, come on. You don't. I can't name my kid Apothecary.
You couldn't even say that with a straight face. You tried really hard. You tried so hard.
Just saying.
You were like, Apothecary.
We haven't officially decided yet, so it could still happen.
I would love, Apothecary, you get out of the cabinet right now.
That is where she would be. It makes sense.
Names mean important things, y'all.
But I feel like they're trying to set up too much.
Yeah.
With this match, because there were way too many interferences.
So much
right?
unnecessary chicanery.
Ava and Ivy Nile, right?
Yes.
Who ran in for distractions. You had Schism that came in. You had Stax, like the Lorenzo guy that came in. You had Tony D'Angelo, who's like by proxy, because he's.
I didn't even see him come in.
Well, it's because he's in jail, but like they reference him.
Oh, okay.
Stax.
Sorry, I thought you were saying that he came in. I was like, wait, how? He's in jail?
No, but but with Stax, they're like referencing him. So
see, he's not irrelevant. I wonder if he's like doing something, like if he's just got a family thing, something going on.
Oh, I don't know. The whole thing that they have right now is that like he's the Don.
He's
right?
the Don. He's in jail because he did some illegal stuff. But
sure.
Gallus is kind of referencing the fact that they were the ones who got him in jail.
Exactly.
For no reason.
So,
other than
but they're
that.
trying to make an entire tag team division storyline work in one match.
Which
very
confusing. I have ADD. You can't do that to me. My brain hold little information.
It don't do a lot, okay?
And especially if there's a lot of things going on at once, my brain goes, no.
Exactly.
And then it could explode.
Sure.
Yeah. And that's exactly what happened in this match. And my patience went as well.
It was just too much. It was way too much. And the emphasis was, again, not on the wrestling. It was on furthering storyline. And I can understand a match that might need that, especially if you have a division that is kind of lackluster and you don't really know what to do with it. But that's what weekly TV is for.
That's what
like if
good point.
If you want to have a match that has some sort of run in at the end, I'm not saying that it's not doable and it's not necessary sometimes, but like when you have an entire like almost like tag division that runs out at the end, not even at the end, just during your match, to cause so much of a distraction, which I hate when they do these distractions because they literally look and go, what's happening over there? And they take such time to set up these distraction spots so the camera can get in just the right spot so we can see the roll up that happens, that it really bugs me because I'm like, if I was in the middle of a match, I don't know if I would be paying that much attention to what was going on the outside.
We had a conversation about this, and I brought this up because when you're a wrestler in NXT or in WWE or whatever, there are classes that you go to, that you take, 101 kind of things like, roll-ups, etc. But I thoroughly believed after watching these two matches with this horseshit blindness from the refs that they themselves take their own class. And their class is how to obviously miss shit.
Yeah.
On purpose. That they sat there and they were taking notes and it's like, oh, I got to think about who would run the class. Who would be a good example of running the class?
I have
Knox.
No idea.
Knox, but he's not even in this division. He's at AEW, but Knox comes over and is a special guest.
But I feel like even in this match, like it could have been understandable for the ref to get distracted just because there was so much going on that he would have to be like, okay, like y'all need to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
And then he would miss whatever was in the ring. That I can buy.
But
what I don't buy is the wrestlers
who
take a full 5 seconds to do the like I'm going to acknowledge what's going on over here. So that way the camera can see that I'm acknowledging what's going on over here. So it can move. And then the wrestler can roll me up and then get the win.
Oh.
It's like a full, 3 different beats.
You're right. You're right.
And coming from a stage acting background, that to me feels like 5 minutes long.
Yes.
Right? Because it's just stuff should just flow. And if the cameraman doesn't catch up, that's his fault.
Too bad.
But
so sad. You were rubberneck.
I gave this a 2.5, and I feel like I was being generous with it, but there wasn't really much meat on this.
I gave it a 1.5, but that's also because I was pissed.
You are also very petty when it comes to scoring sometimes.
Well, I was just so mad because once again, not even with only one match in between that we're going to go back to the chicanery again. But in all actuality, yes, I would say 2 or 2.5.
Yeah.
But at the time, I put a 1.5. Y'all, I was pissed.
Yeah, it just again, all the stuff at the end wasn't needed, wasn't necessary.
No.
And it could have, if you wanted to have a run-in, you just have Ava and Ivy. Because that's obviously what they're setting up for.
Yeah, so why throw in all that other crap?
Why throw in everything else?
Yeah.
I don't know. So, 2.5 at best. So now we're on to our semi-main.
Oh, but this one I was really excited for.
So now we're going back up the roller coaster hill, right? So we have the NXT Women's Championship match between Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton. Now, just to set up how this all came about, you have Indy Hartwell, who was
our queen,
the winner of the last takeover.
Yes. That was only a takeover ago.
It was, yes. So it's the women's ladder match because it was I think it was five different people, and Indy wins this.
Yes.
She suffers an injury to her foot
during that match.
I think it was a little bit after.
Okay.
So but then also she gets drafted to Raw or SmackDown. I can't remember which one it is.
Dexter's with her. That's all that matters.
So I think it's on Raw then.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Candice and Johnny and all them are reunited now.
Yeah.
So, which is great, which is what we were hoping for anyway. Everybody was waiting for Indy to get called up anyway, which is why we're excited that she has this, but also does this mean she's going to be down there for a little bit longer?
Caught it.
And then all of a sudden she gets drafted and she has the title with her, which they've been doing, and I don't really like it.
It doesn't make sense.
Because the women's tag team champions are now on SmackDown, which means they were not on this show.
Which, why in the world would they not be?
Why would you not have... So anyway, Indy drops the title. She has to relinquish the title. So now we have set up a tournament to figure out who's going to go for it at Battleground.
Yes.
Tournament was really fun. And you had Lyra Valkyria, who wins her side, which I was shocked.
I'm so glad,
I am too.
I know, especially with Roxanne, her momentum and all that. I really just assumed.
Well, see, Tiffany was the one who beat Roxanne.
Which
I was very shocked about because I thought they were just going to give it back to Roxanne, which I would have been all right with, but...
I'm excited.
I was very excited to see that it was these two women because... I know that they're putting the rocket on Tiffany, and I understand that.
Lord have mercy.
But Lyra is someone who, again, was over in UK, who I am happy but also kind of shocked that she's still here.
Yes,
because,
that's fair.
And I don't mean that by any malice or anything.
No.
She, if you look at the list of women that were on that roster... She was the one that was a little bit more out there.
Yeah.
So, not as conventional.
Which is probably why she was here and not called main roster.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but I'm happy about it because we got this match out of it. Because
gosh, she is so cool.
She is.
And her makeup on this one. She had gold leaf.
She sure did.
Just from her temple all the way down to her chin.
Yeah.
And it was so freaking cool looking.
And I'm telling you, that shit stayed on the entire match.
Yes, it did.
Not a single flake came off.
Artist.
So props to whoever did her makeup because I'm sure that took forever and a day to put on. But I will say that they had a story coming into this match because it was in the final round of the tournament. It was Lyra versus Cora Jade. And Cora lost. And Cora, being the chicken shit heel that she is, injured Lyra's knee at the end of that match. So Lyra's going into this match not fully 100%.
Yeah, injured.
And I'm surprised that Tiffany didn't really hook on to that until the end.
Oh, I was going to say, I was like, she totally
No,
did.
she did, but she knew about it from the beginning.
Yeah.
She had a brace on. But I don't really know who they were toting as the heel and the face during this.
And I don't mind that.
I kind of do, just because I feel like in the beginning, like, you have to establish who the crowd is supposed to root for.
Yeah.
Now, they're going to root for whoever they end up wanting to root for, obviously.
It's in the NXT crowd, of course.
Right. But
and it could change halfway through.
And they did during this match. Because at the beginning, they were all for Tiffany.
Yeah.
And then when she started going for the knee,
then it was like, oh.
They switched to Lyra.
Yeah.
Because they felt bad for her.
Absolutely.
Because by the end of the match, like, she's limping and, like...
Yeah, she's barely there.
Barely kicking out. So, I feel like Tiffany is a lot more impressive than her appearance leads on. And I say that in the nicest possible way. Because I watched on Tuesday.
I'm glad we're going to bring this up because this is why I liked it. I liked the fact that she wasn't established as a full heel because we had that Lena Lamont moment.
I know,
but that's a Singing in the Rain reference. If anyone doesn't know what that is, go watch that movie. It's an amazing movie. But we had that moment of it's like she gets up there and we're like, oh man, like what's she gonna sound like? Because she hasn't talked. Like I haven't heard her.
Well,
like
I know
much.
She has, but
like
she
really
leaned into it, and I was like, oh no. Oh god, we talked like this, and we just were so Valley Girl, and I was like, this is exactly what I didn't want you to be.
Because I mean, like, we have flashbacks from Mandy, and we've had such strong feelings about that, so I get it, but
I think I'm gonna let it play out. I'm gonna let it see what happens, because maybe she's going to take it in a different direction.
Yeah.
And because it was her tiffy-bration.
It was so funny.
It was really funny.
Oh, I guess we should say who won.
No, I know. I'm getting there.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I still really, really enjoyed this.
Yeah.
And I do want to bring up an interesting point, just because I've never quite understood how we have such a strong women's division down in NXT. And then when we go up to the main roster, we just lose it all.
It's disintegrated.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't know where that disconnect is, because they train them to be as good as the guys down in NXT. Sometimes they are better than the guys. There was a time period when they were, and I think we're almost back there now, where I prefer some women's matches over some men's matches. Yeah. Right? But I just don't understand where the disconnect is when we go up to the main roster. Either we're not given the shot that we were given down in NXT, or we are repackaged and we're told that this is how we're supposed to wrestle. Yeah. Right? Because you have only a few. Like, you have your Becky, you have your Charlotte, you have your Bayley, you have your Sasha.
And Rhea.
And you have your Rhea, who came up and was like, nope, this is me. This is how I wrestle.
Fight me, bitch.
Right. And I'm going to get over regardless of whether you want me to or not. Yeah. And it works for them. But why can't it be our entire division that's like that? Yeah. Right? Because even when you had Mandy on the main roster, she did not really look as good in the ring until she got back down to NXT. I think, right? So I don't think that they are given the opportunity to really showcase everything that they teach them down there.
And I think I know why. because I think that the trainers in NXT are some of the best in the world. And then when they get to the main roster, I mean, I don't know. I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. I don't know, but I'm just saying this happens almost every time. And you're right. It's like, so where's the disconnect? So it must be opposing ideals.
Well, I also think that when you go to the main roster, there really is no training anymore.
Oh,
right.
That may be fair then.
So like you're kind of on your own.
Figure it out, kid.
Right. So that also might be the disconnect.
That's a fair point. Maybe it's that.
The women who poke through and who are remembered are the ones that do take initiative and do go forward. You know? So because when you're down in NXT, you're training all day, every day, and you're doing TV.
Yeah.
Right? But when you go to the main roster, there is no training anymore.
Yeah, it's just you figure out your workout routine.
Exactly.
You figure out when you're going to the gym.
Exactly.
You need to know who you're going to be friends with. You make the connections and go. Yeah.
So I think that maybe I've answered my own question. But I do think it's interesting that we have these really awesome, like 4 or 5-star matches with the women in NXT. And then you get up there and you're like, why is the women's division so dismal?
Yeah.
Why am I seeing the same 3 to 4 people every single week?
Yeah.
But that might be the case. Like, I don't know. But
whoever's listening, send us an email.
That being said, I feel like it was very brutal, but also very technical match. And I think that it'll be interesting going forward with Tiffany being champion.
Yes.
I do think it was the right choice. Just because she is the one that is the most over. I don't think Lyra's done.
No.
I do think that.
And they need her weird factor because now that Isla and
Alba.
Thank you, Alba.
Yeah.
Are gone. You know.
They need that.
They need that weird.
Yeah.
They need that weird in NXT to make it literally NXT.
Yeah, but she's not really weird. You know what I mean?
Weird by the standards of what
okay, fair.
A wrestler should be.
Fair.
Yes.
But I gave this a 4.5.
Yes.
Because it was extremely compelling to watch and the crowd was really behind it. And I mean, I couldn't give it a perfect score just because it was not on the same level as Dragunov Dijak. But,
no, never.
But it was a different kind of match.
Yes, it was.
It was still the best.
Yes.
Like, out of the regular matches, I think.
With, especially it being in that second spot, you know, there's kind of like this, like, it's got to be really, really, really good.
Yeah.
I feel like it did exactly what it was supposed to do and build us up to the next one, like bring that momentum to the next match.
Sure, because I mean,
but it held its own. It was amazing.
It did, and I feel like
I think Tiffany's going places, and I think she is the body of Charlotte. And I'm sorry, the ability of Charlotte, like technically, with the cuteness / bite of Alexa Bliss.
Yeah.
Mixed with a little bit of Miss Gargano, my brain. Candace.
Yeah.
And I think the 3 combo will propel her really far.
Yeah. No, I can agree with that.
I think that, I'm interested to see where she goes from here and who she allies herself with. I think that also could be a thing,
well,
too.
I think she's putting herself on an island all by herself right now.
I think that's perfect and what she should do.
And it makes sense.
But in the future, when she loses this, what's going to happen?
True.
That's what I'm interested to see.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be with anybody else.
No.
Not at all.
No.
But yeah, we're at our main.
Now.
So this is for the NXT Championship. It's Carmelo Hayes versus Braun Breaker, which is something we have seen before. But it was totally different.
And this
than what we have seen before, and this is where we think people are listening to us.
Absolutely, somebody in the back heard our podcast.
I will say, the night after Stand and Deliver, or the week after Stand and Deliver, Braun comes out, and he's the same guy that he was, and everybody thought he was leaving, right? Because everybody thought he was going to be drafted. And
you were floored.
I was. I still am, actually.
Like it's right there.
I'm still pretty floored that he
right
wasn't.
There.
Which I'll get into in a second. I think he is eventually going to be.
Yeah.
But
now with this persona too.
So he comes out and he's like, I just want to congratulate you and blah, blah, blah. Long story short, turns heel.
Amazing
on
turn.
Carmelo. And Carmelo looks like you could have just ripped his own baby from his arms. Like, he is literally so shocked that this has happened.
Oh, my God.
That he doesn't even know what to do with himself because Braun has been so babyface.
Like, the biggest.
And Carmelo has been
probably
the heel.
too. Oh,
right?
yeah.
I mean, we called him the babiest of baby faces, right?
Yeah.
This entire time. And he literally has changed his entire look. He comes out in a black singlet now.
He's a lone wolf.
He taunts the crowd. He came out for Battleground. His entrance was within a wolf mask.
It was sick. It's so cool.
It was really awesome.
Such good work.
I mean, whoever did that mask was
10 out of 10.
Yeah, it was great. So I want to applaud the work that he has put in because he even wrestles differently now.
Yes. Like, his pace is different even.
Yes. However, I do feel like it was the same match that we watched, just with a heel Braun, right? And a face Carmelo. It felt like the same kind of structure.
I'm playing it back in my head to make sure.
Yes.
And I'm like,
because if you think about it,
okay,
all of the last match that we saw at Stand and Deliver, we complained about it a bit because we thought it was a little basic, right?
Yeah.
And we also didn't like the way that Braun is, essentially, or was. But it basically was the same match, just the heel and face was reversed.
I could see you say that.
Which I'm not saying, I'm not complaining.
Maybe that's what it is.
But at the same time, it's still the same kind of Braun match.
Maybe that's
right?
why he's not there yet, is because psychology's not full there.
And that's what people are talking about. They're saying that he needs to get better with the psychology and the booking of his matches.
See, I didn't even
know
that.
And the way
that
he does that. Because it's the same shit. It's the same... Even though he's had stipulation matches, he's had a cage match with Waller. He had...
Oh, gosh.
But you see, Waller went up and he didn't.
Yeah.
And Waller was not the standout of that match.
Lord, I was so disappointed in that man.
Right. So, I think, and this is what other people are saying about it as well, I think that's the part that's missing. And that's the part that he needs to get before he moves up.
Yeah.
Because if he's going to do anything when he gets up there, the psychology and the pacing of his matches need to be completely different.
Yeah.
Because right now it's the same copy and paste type of match. Now,
muscle memory.
I will say the moves that he does are more intense, but they're the same moves.
Yeah, that spear is still gnarly as hell.
It is, and especially when it comes from the top rope and he does that spear on his opponent. That's nuts.
It's disgusting.
But it's still a spear.
Yeah.
It's still
It's not a new
spine
move
buster.
now that he's a bad guy. It's not, oh, you know what? Like, he even started doing more suplex, and I was like, Braun?
Uh-huh.
I said Braun. Brock?
Uh-huh.
Brock? Is that you, Brock? Mini Brock?
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
you're fair. That's fair. Now that I think about it, that's fair.
And to me, I'm still ready for him to move on because there's only so much time that you can keep the training wheels on someone before you just let them sink or swim on their own.
Yeah.
But
I think maybe because he's got a name.
It is. They want him to be like 100% ready, and I get that. I understand that.
Yeah.
But
at the same time,
right now, William Regal's son has not really wrestled that much.
Dude, and
he, I think, is closer to being ready than Braun is.
I mean, Mike
and
alone.
Braun has had more exposure than he has.
Absolutely. On the mic alone, when we watched that last week.
Mm-hmm. But it's because he gets, like, yes, you can get the technical moves down all day long, but, like, if you don't get the psychology behind it, then you're just going to be another big guy that does a lot of spears.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair.
I
didn't think of it that way.
They already have a bunch of those.
Yeah.
They have They have a lot that are bigger than you, actually. You know, like, even though we haven't seen him in ages, Big E is still bigger than you.
Good Googling. Big E
could
whoop that man's ass.
I'm just saying, like, they already have someone
big meaty men
slapping meat.
Slapping the meat.
But like, he not as big a meat though.
He not a
Right.
He gonna be little meat.
He a little baby meat.
He gonna be medium meat. He gonna be medium meat.
Oh man.
He medium rare right now. He need to wait.
Rare. Oh my god.
Wait.
But I mean, again, I just really I enjoyed it because of the character choices he was making. But I just don't think that he still gets it, and I think he still needs to work on that.
Yeah.
Because Carmelo can do a lot for him, but
like
he stands out so much to me like an actual thumb, right? Like it just like I'm trying really hard and I can see that he's trying, right?
Yeah.
But like it's just still not connecting.
See, now that you said that, I started thinking back even on what he was calling out. There was a part where he started calling out the city to the audience. It's like the 1, 2, 3s, and then when he was done with those 3 like traditional, jeers at the crowd.
Is this your guy?
He went back to Reno sucked. Not Reno. They were at Reno for the other place. For Lowell.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because that was Lowell, Lowell, Massachusetts. He was like, well, Lowell sucks, and he started doing it again. So I was like, oh, like even the thinking of that is not. It's not. He's not believing in himself enough yet.
He knows the textbook, right? Like he knows.
Let go of the textbook.
He knows what he's supposed to do. So it's like, okay. It's like when you get a new script.
Yeah.
Right? And you don't really know your character quite yet.
Yeah.
But you kind of have the bare bones of who they are as a person, but you haven't quite nailed down specifics yet.
Yeah.
And so when you're reading your lines on stage, no one believes you yet.
Yeah.
Right? Because you haven't made that connection to the character, to the actual person of the character yet. You know what they're supposed to do and what they're supposed to say.
Yeah.
But it hasn't clicked yet. And that's what it feels like to me. He knows the script that he's supposed to say and he knows what he's supposed to do.
Yeah.
But he hasn't fully connected with it yet. So nobody believes him.
And off book day is coming and he wants to hold on to that script as tight as he can.
Exactly. Right. And everybody knows that the sooner you get off book, the easier shit goes, right? But
but it's scary.
It's true. The earlier that you could get it and digest it yourself, the better it's going to be for everybody in the long run. So, I mean, I still gave this a 4.
Really?
I did, because I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it more than I have enjoyed the last one.
I was waiting
and the
for it
one
to be
before
lower.
that. I mean, I've given all of his matches about a 3, 3.5.
That's what I expected you to be, was a 3.
But this one was a little bit better.
All right then, because I had 4 too.
Because Carmelo retains.
Yes.
Which I think some people were shocked at. I was not very shocked at. Just because I still think they're setting Braun up for a call-up. So they don't want to put the title back on him yet. Because if they do, then they're going to get into another situation that they're already in. Where main roster calls and they want this person, but we have a title on them. Which is what we run into with NXT all the fucking time.
It's like, well, there's a reason they're good and they have a belt.
Right, exactly.
Let us have them.
Let us keep our good people.
Like, gosh.
So, overall, I gave this whole takeover a 3.5.
Yeah.
Because we did have some high highs.
But
we had a lot of...
We had some
lows.
Low.
Yeah, so overall, I gave it a 3.5.
All right.
But now we're on to segment time.
Yes. So, Shelby, I'm going to start with you this time.
Okay.
Let's start with you.
Okay.
Who is your ignorant slut?
Okay. I'm going to have to say the Heritage Cup match.
Oh, yes.
Just the whole thing.
Overall,
in general. No. But really, just the way that they treated the cup in general.
Yes. I could go on an hour-long rant about that.
Well, we almost did.
Whoops.
I mean, it saddens me. Being a Heritage Cup fan and seeing what it can be and what it has been is upsetting to me that they treated it the way that they did.
Yeah.
It didn't really stick to what they were really supposed to do with it.
Yeah.
So I don't know who to blame for that, but whoever was in charge of booking and producing that match, you are my ignorant slut. I don't know your name, but whoever, you know who you are.
You're listening and you know who you are and you know what you've done and you're the worst for it.
Yeah, so that's my ignorant slut. What about you?
I 100% agree with you.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I leaned a little bit when I first watched it towards Lash. I cannot. I'm sorry.
Legend.
Lash Legend. I'm so sorry, honey. It's not your fault. It's just that I'm silly.
Well, Gina doesn't really do names very well on this show.
Look, as soon as I was
What's her
done
tits?
being a teacher, that ability left my brain and it is gone.
That's fair, but
It's gone.
I don't know if you've ever called a kid "What's her tits?"
No,
before.
thank you, God. No, I have not. No, I have not. But yeah, I originally blamed it on them. And then, because I was just like, this chicanery is like so stupid. Like, honestly, I guess I could even say like the chicanery itself in this was so used, was used so poorly that I could even just, for overall chicanery in this.
because it was just chaos.
Because there was no reason. It wasn't like, yeah. So I could even subcategory it into just chicanery itself. But the wrong they have done to this cup.
Yeah.
Bringing it the first time, making it so American like reality TV show bullshit. And Noah Mamdar helped with that because of his shitty character. It's just, all of this is horseshit.
Yeah.
That is my ignorant slut.
Just all of this is horseshit.
That is just a pile of horse manure, and it's awful. So, yes.
Well, I feel like no one's going to be surprised at this.
Oh.
But my EST has to be the winner of the Johnny Gargano Award, which
No,
is
you've
Ilya
taken
Dragunov. I'm sorry. Like,
we're in 100% agreement. Like,
which is rare, but
yes.
everyone knows who listens to this show, if you put your body on the line, you are my EST. And the fact that it was a very close tie between, it could have been a tie between him and Dijak. But I will say that Ilya just has no regard for his body.
None.
Or the people that love him. Really?
Screw you, Mom. I'm going to go mutilate my body.
He has a family. He does. He has a family.
Like children?
Yeah.
Blessed assurance, these poor children.
Yeah. And a wife that I'm sure loves him dearly.
And prays every night.
And prays that he
Please,
doesn't
God,
break
protect
his
my
neck.
My husband.
You know, when he goes flying squirrel through the air.
Yeah.
You know, like, but that's why I respect this man. Right?
He leaves it all on the line.
I mean, yeah. Because I'm a sucker for it. I can't help it.
The Johnny Gargano Award goes to...
So we have decided that now that he is no longer on NXT, we can name an award after him.
Yes.
And we can, later on, if it becomes more prevalent that people are doing this, we can make this a separate award.
That would be nice.
Just the Johnny Gargano Award, which is just anyone, male or female wrestler, or referee for that matter.
You know, fair.
Or audience member, or whoever it is.
Somebody.
Who puts their full physical form and body and soul, like, on the line and has no regard for what happens to it.
Yes.
They get that award.
Yes. 110%
But more than likely,
agreed.
it will probably be the same as my EST because I just can't help myself.
Oh my gosh. I'm so pissed that it's been a long time since we've been 100% agreed.
I don't know if it's ever happened that we've agreed on both.
Like, oh my gosh. Like and my runner up was Dijak.
Well, yeah.
Just because of the sheer, like, I mean, there were times where it was like neck and neck, like inches, like a nail, like between them, like, you know, distance of like who was going to win. And I was so enraptured in this match. But yes, Dragunov 100%. Dragunov is just, I love this crazy son of a bitch.
I can't wait until like years from now.
Yeah.
When we are doing like a specialty episode on like,
oh, we get to go back and look at this.
Yeah, either that or like we look back or we look forward and we see like dragging off in his illustrious, like, crazy career, and we're sitting here talking about just, like, the craziest shit that he's ever done.
Oh my gosh.
Like, again, him and Darby Allin.
Seriously.
One day it could happen.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, who the fuck knows? Wrestling is so unpredictable nowadays. Like, you never can predict where anybody's going to be or where they're going to go.
Whatever happens, man.
So, if they meet somewhere,
look, man,
you know, make it happen. But
I guess we could also give a shout out to our whoever is listening to us.
Oh, yes. Anyone, because I swear, someone down in Florida
for real
has to be listening, because it was very specific, like, what we said.
Ticked off boxes of, like, what we were saying on the previous podcast, where it was just like, I'm sorry. What?
So shout out to if we have any listeners in Florida. I'm sure we do.
Who's in the scene? Like,
possibly?
Or knows someone on the scene?
I don't know.
Just a shout out to you, madam, gentleman, them, whomever you are.
You know what? It's Shawn Michaels. HBK. Are you listening? Are you listening to us? Because if so, like, oh my God, like, hi, hello,
huge
like,
fans. You're amazing.
I mean, we swore that Hunter was listening at one point. But
look, you know, maybe now that he's, like, you know, going back and forth, like, kind of like really, he's not the one anymore. But no, Shawn.
Here's the situation. Here's what happened.
Okay. What happened was
Hunter was listening, right, and keeping up with, like, how we felt about things.
Yeah.
Right, and then he has to go be Big Papa H, right, and run the big show now, and so now he's passed it on to Shawn.
And now Shawn's like,
dude, you have to listen to these two girls in Carolina, man. Like, they know their shit. They know what they're talking about. Yes. So you need to listen to them.
Yes.
They may guide you in the right direction. Now, they may not. It just depends on how they're feeling that day. But like,
really listen to them.
Really listen, because they have some really good insight. And one of them is about to give birth to a wrestling baby.
Like, it's
gonna be great. That's exactly how that happened.
I love it.
That is exactly verbatim what happened.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like we should ask Ted to do this one day. But if there are other artists out there who want to draw what you imagine our podcast is, I really want to see it. I really want to see it. Maybe Ted can draw us to, like, the first example so that you guys can see what we look like if you don't follow us on social media or anything. But I really want someone to draw, like,
just get, because he's a part of an art group.
Yes.
So, like,
just get the art group to do it.
My Favorite Murder does that.
I know.
So
and then,
they have a particular artist who draws for them.
Yeah.
And they take little snippets and little tangents that they go off of, and he animates them and puts them on YouTube.
Yes, this is what I want. This is what I want for us.
All right. Well, if we have any local artists, or not even local, if we have any artists who want to draw us and see what we look like,
yes,
just go for it, man.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
Speaking of social media,
yes,
because I forgot. Okay.
Segue.
I'm a terrible host.
No.
And let me explain why.
I was going to say, what? No.
We had Robert Brafford, new host of This Is a Work, on the previous time. And I felt so bad at the end because my pregnancy brain just went rampant at the end of this show. I forgot to say social media handles. I forgot to talk about his first show that was coming up. I forgot everything, right? And I didn't even know what my freaking outro was anymore. So I apologize to Robert Brafford for not giving him a proper send-off. But if you want to go and listen to his first episode with Chris the Fashion Plate Barnes for Double or Nothing, heard it was super great.
It's fantastic.
So definitely go and give him a listen, and just ignore the end of the episode the last time, because I felt horrible. No. I did. I felt so bad.
It's fine, though. It's fine. It was just all of us were, we're not used to a guest.
We're not.
We're not used to a guest. So
I'm used to our energy, and he was giving off a lot too. And I think I was also tired and just ready to go.
It was a lot of factors, and you're fine.
I know. But that being said,
yes,
I do want to reiterate that Long Walk Talks is coming back from hiatus.
Yay, Muppet Arms!
And so it has not been disclosed to us yet what they are doing.
Or officially
when it's happening, but we just know that they're coming back. So if you are a movie enthusiast, if you enjoy their podcast, keep a check out on our feed, and they'll be back into your feed soon. David was tempting a teeny talk with his wife, Katie Bearden. And I really hope that it happens. If we say it enough times, maybe it will get to Katie and she will actually do it. But we'll see. And I know for us, it may be a minute because my life is going to be up in the air for a little while.
We are going to be focusing on little Butterbean.
Yes.
Once she is here.
Yes. And I'm very excited about that. But also, we do sit, while we do this show. So it's not like we're running a marathon right now, know. So we'll see, and hopefully we'll be back in y'all's feed soon. But I will keep everybody updated on.
Yeah, maybe we could pull COVID levels and do the Zoom or Skype or.
That's true, but I just
you'll want to get out of the house.
I will.
You will want to get out of the house,
and Ted could have some good time with her too.
Yes.
So it'll be fun.
Yes.
But yeah, if people want to follow you, Gina, where can they do that?
You can follow me on Instagram at Broadway_baby1218. I also will be posting a picture later of the nursery if anyone's interested. But I wanted to wait till you had your family see it first. But it will be coming in hot later after family has seen the painting.
I would love for you to use that as a part of your portfolio. To be honest with you, because you did a very good job, guys.
Well, thank you. But it's all for love and for Butterbean.
And if you want to follow me personally, you can do that at SlayAllRay on Instagram. I will warn you, it's going to be bombarded by baby pictures pretty soon. So if you're not into that, I would just mute me for a little while. If you want to follow Long Walk Podcast on Instagram and Twitter, you can do that at Long Walk Podcast. If you want to follow our show specifically, you can do that at This Is the Takeover on Instagram or this_pod on Twitter. I have heard our presence is back on Twitter now.
Yeah.
And we can thank Robert Brafford for that because I don't do Twitter very well.
Me neither.
So if you want to follow us there, he does a really good job. I keep up with our Instagram feed. So yeah, if you want to follow us there, you can do that at those handles. Also, I'm just very excited for everything that's about to happen, but I'm also very excited that we have a new podcast host and we have new lineups coming up, and I think it's going to be, we're just going to have a whole new look.
Yeah, it's going to be so much fun.
It is. It's going to be really exciting. So thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. For This Is the Takeover, I'm Shelby Ray Patterson.
And I'm Gina Brafford.
And you don't have to be called up to the main roster. You're doing fine where you're at.